Connecting remotely, but good to meet you in person. And William Waltz accompanying. Welcome back, William.
Hi, Kirk. Thank you.
Great to see you. And guys, we like to just jump in and start with a song. Whatever you'd like to play, we'd love to hear.
Sure. This is called Last Dream Standing. Don't go that way and say beware. Stay on the path, don't go astray. Whatever hopes you're feeling, they'll fade soon enough. You'll avoid the healing if you would just agree to give up and the wheels go round and time goes by. It will all fall down and say goodbye. If you hold on loosely enough, you can have a long standing. But God forbid you should hold on tight. Hold on to that last dream standing. They go and beat the drum real hard. They beat it till it's burnished in your head. If it's fun, risky, and scary, leave it behind. Leave it behind, kid, until you're dead. Because life is hard. They want the best for you, and the best is easy. Just do what they do. Some of those dreams are stubborn, and the heart can be demanding. And God forbid you should hold on tight. Hold on to that last dream standing. Hey, 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 hey. Late at night when you go to sleep, there's so much that you want to know. Like where it is your restless mind wanders, and you realize you really got no control. No control. Because wherever it takes you, that's where you're going. You're no longer driving, the steering is stolen. Some of those dreams are stubborn, and the heart can be demanding. And sometimes it just wants to try. Want to try that last dream standing. Last dream standing. Last dream standing. Last dream standing. Thank you.
Very nice. Great way to start the show. Mitch, is that a recent song or an older one?
It's fairly recent, yeah. I've written a lot of songs in the last few years, so.
Well, we always ask during the evil times of whether that was productive for people or they sort of hit a wall. But for you, sounds like you were able to get some work in.
Yeah, I've had a good last few years, actually. I've written some really interesting songs. It's interesting to me, at least.
William, would you turn your guitar mic down towards you a little bit?
Okay.
I had a text coming in from our producer, and pull it in towards your guitar a little more.
Okay.
But not at the sound hole.
Play louder, in other words.
No, we got control.
No, I
over
was
that.
kept turning up the mic, thinking, all right, we're gonna get this.
No, that's better. That's good. And so we do want to get as much of your fine music in as we can. Mitch has a very interesting and storied background and future that we'll get to here in a minute. But how about another song, guys?
Sure. Not going to talk about the jail record, are we? We're going to leave that off? Okay.
It's up to you.
I
Okay,
vote
it's
for
up to me.
jail.
I like that attitude. Appreciate that. People pass and buildings fall. Power doesn't last, we've seen it all. All the heroes eventually fall down, and their integrity is blinded by the saddest of stains. 'Cause truth remains, and truth remains. Beauty fades just like a rose, and love is thorny. It's something we all know. Optimism often wins the day with its blinders, but reality always wins anyway. 'Cause truth remains, and truth remains. I know it hurts sometimes to see things as they are, but it's liberating, 'cause a rose-colored glasses only get you so far. 'Cause truth remains, the truth remains. There's peace in the sky until thunder cracks. Piety rules until grief comes back. I'll say good riddance to BS along the way. I'll gladly go down, biting the dust, singing this refrain. That truth remains, and truth remains, and truth remains.
Good to hear a song about optimism on a cold January evening in trying times.
Yeah,
That's
what we can do.
That's a nice song, Mitch.
Thank you.
I look forward to learning it one day.
No, that's your compliment is just very nice. How did the two of you hook up anyway?
We actually met at a
A song circle.
song circle.
Our friend in North Raleigh, Alan
Oatley.
Oatley, hosted
songwriter.
a song circle for 2 or 3 months early last year, and we just
I think we were both of the first one.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it didn't really stick for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll start it back, but a lot of different people, a lot of different styles, and we just traded emails and stuff. And
Will struck me as someone, he can actually play the guitar.
Oh, yes.
He knows all the chords. So there you go.
check out Guitar George.
Mitch, you had shared with us that you recently got back from Vermont. Was that home for you before you came down
Yeah, I
south?
was there for about 30 years. I've recently relocated here since really about the end of 22. But I still have a place there and I go back. But that's where I started my little record label and all that stuff. So,
Well, tell us about Gadfly Records.
yeah, well, our motto was fighting the battle of the bland, and we focus on unique singer-songwriters. I'm trying to think of folks we've had around here that you would know. I mean, I think a lot of you know Don Dixon and Arrogance. I did a record with Don. There are a lot of people who've been on major labels. Ian McLaughlin.
You did several of the Mountain Stage
I did several
live
Did
releases.
several Mountain Stage live releases, yeah. So, but I also have a lot of people that no one has ever heard of, just because I love the
Yeah,
music they
we'd love that.
create.
Graham Parker.
Graham Parker, people have heard of him, yeah. So he was a big pop rocker in the 70s and 80s. The very first person I signed actually was a comedy writer. He created the TV show Monk. He's
Oh, we
wicked
love
funny.
Monk,
Yeah,
yeah.
his name is Andy Breckman. I would encourage people to look up his music online. It's all there. He's fantastically funny. So
So the theme song for Monk, does he? No, that's
Randy Newman.
Randy
Randy Newman.
It was actually a
right.
theme song before that. The second year they got the Randy Newman
Randy
song,
Newman.
but yeah.
Well, we do want to get back to live music here soon, but I'm curious with all this migration from hard copy records to streaming, that affected your label?
Just put us out of business.
I wondered. You're
Well,
probably.
I mean, technically we're still in business, but I mean, most of the record industry, I think, just didn't know how to deal with it. I
Yeah.
think they still don't know how to deal with it. I saw the big change coming around '99. I had a really good slate of releases coming up, but Napster was happening then.
Yeah.
And I went to my brother's house, who is an OBGYN, and he is a songwriter, and he was using Napster, and his son was a songwriter trying to get on a major label, and he was using Napster. I thought, well, these guys are using it. Everyone's going to be using it. So I figured about a year and a half later, things would be going way down the tubes, and that's pretty much what happened for the whole industry.
So you still have a storage unit in Vermont full of
Not anymore.
hard copy releases?
I've done a lot. I've done a lot of recycling, shall we say, of old things. So
Well,
I've got a
interesting.
lot of good coasters if anyone wants to buy some. So.
Yeah, well, we do too. Well, thank you for the backstory. And now returning to the present, what do you have for us next?
Sure. This is called Dirt Road to Your Heart. I don't want you to be impressed. The things I have that are the best, they're putting me way above the rest. You know it's not my style. Anyway, you know I'm not that smart. I'm just trying to find a dirt road to your heart. 'Cause every time I try to be someone else who isn't me, with all the bells and the whistles you see, you know it just don't fit. For you I'm sticking strictly to my part. I'm just trying to find a dirt road to your heart. Trying to find a dirt road to your heart. Smile on my face as I drive at my own pace. Trying to find a dirt road to your heart. I'll be happy to know that I got somewhere to go. I can tell when I look at you that there are things you love to do. Here and there might break a rule, but it's only in harmless fun. That kind of thing would never keep us apart. I'm just trying to find a dirt road to your heart. Trying to find a dirt road to your heart. Smile on my face as I drive at my own pace. Trying to find a dirt road to your heart. I'll be happy to know that I got somewhere to go. I can tell when I look at you that there are things you love to do. Here and there might break a rule, but it's only in harmless fun. That kind of thing would never keep us apart. I'm just trying to find a dirt road to your heart. And one day when my ship comes in and I'm no longer poor sin, I look back on this day and grin, 'cause I know I didn't put on an act. That just wouldn't be the time to start. I'll still be looking for a dirt road to your heart. Looking for a dirt road to your heart. Looking for a dirt road to your heart. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo.
Really enjoying these songs and wondering how they start. Are you a songwriter who starts with the language first or with the music, or does it just come together?
It's usually with a game show. No, I'm just kidding. It can be a lot of different ways. I don't know. I could be just walking somewhere and I say I have an idea or I have a melody line in my head. It really is all different ways, so I can't explain it. That's why I wanted to do. I mentioned before we were on the air that I did a documentary about songwriters, because I want to know, where does this all come from? And so I interviewed all these hit songwriters like Paul Williams and Taffy Nyberg, who wrote "Take Me Home, Country Roads," a co-write on that, et cetera, and just to put that all together and see what commonalities there were. It was really interesting to me. So.
Tell us about this documentary. Is this something people can see now?
Not yet, but if anyone wants to find my Instagram page, which is Mitch_Cantor_music,
Okay.
they can message me and I'll send them a link to look at it. So,
Oh, cool.
yeah,
I might do that right now.
Right?
yeah.
It's on the dark web.
Okay, I'll go there. I'm not afraid.
Yeah, it was really fun interviewing
got a
those
VPN,
people. Like Billy Steinberg, who wrote "Like a Virgin." I mean, you think Madonna, and you think, well, as a guy wrote that song, so.
Really
And, yeah,
cool.
includes the original demo of it, in which they sing falsetto to sound like Madonna. It's pretty funny. So, yeah.
Well, I'm curious. You've done a documentary. You had a record label for many years in Vermont, and you're a singer-songwriter. I'm curious,
And writing movies. I'm going to do that.
what came first, record label or singer-songwriter, and how did one inform the other?
Yeah, good question. The first thing was the songs. I've been writing songs since I was 11, 12 or so. I will not play you any of those, I promise. So that's the good news.
I'd like to hear them.
Do you know any 11 or 12-year-olds? Believe me, you
Does
wouldn't.
Kim like
I'm a
that?
middle school teacher.
Okay.
And so
Imagine
I'm
them
actually
writing
here
songs.
for
It'd be
it.
the same thing. But yeah, so I decided around mid-20s to try. I mean, I was interested in business all my life. I went to business school, and so I decided to just try that as a business, and so that's how I got that started.
Well, it's a good way to surround yourself with songwriters, I guess.
Exactly, and I've always been interested in that. I mean, I did a record with Julie Gold, who wrote the song "From a Distance," and Chip Taylor, who wrote "Wild Thing" and "The Angel of the Morning," the yin and yang of American pop classics. So I've always been interested in hit songwriters and just great pop songs.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
I've always found it fascinating that one guy could write both of those
Yeah, yeah,
songs,
yeah.
and they're both tremendous hits.
exactly.
But,
On the other
you
end of
know,
the
wow.
spectrum.
Yeah.
Well, just like Allie Willis wrote the song "September" for Earth, Wind, and Fire. She's in my doc, and she also wrote the Friends theme song. They're completely on different ends of the spectrum too, which she talks about in the
That's
doc.
why I'll be sending you an email for that documentary.
Happy
That
to.
sounds very cool.
Yeah.
Well, we're here to listen to your music tonight,
Okay.
so we'd like to hear
Sure.
another one.
Okay, happy to. This is called "Another First Kiss." I had just been dumped. You know just how that goes. I wondered what was real. I wondered, what did I know? Who makes the rules, who draws the lines? Is it all random and killing time? Will there be someone else for me, or will I just be lost at sea? I turned my head and held my breath. It almost scared me half to death. Another first kiss, another chance at bliss. I don't know what I did long ago to get fate to give me another go. Another first kiss, another chance at bliss. Didn't think of my wildest dreams would come to this. Another first kiss. She walked in the room. I stared at her discreetly, but she caught my eye, and she walked over to me sweetly. She touched my hand and warmed my bones, and I no longer felt alone. I wondered if she could feel it too. She cracked a smile, and then I knew that I wasn't the only one with a wounded heart and on the run. Another first kiss, another chance at bliss. Don't know what I did long ago to get fate to give me another go. Another first kiss, another chance at bliss. Didn't think of my wildest dreams would come to this. Another first kiss. She looked right at me as if she knew my next line. I thought, could it be? Well, if so, that's just fine. That's just fine. That's just fine. Another first kiss, another chance at bliss. Didn't think of my wildest dreams would come to this. Another first kiss. wonder what it takes for me to keep believing. We're on a road that never ends, but all the while we're holding hands. We both know there's just one way, got to earn it every day. We touch lips and don't let go. There's one thing we'll never know. Another first kiss, that's something I won't miss. As long as she stays with me, I know I won't feel the need for another first kiss. That's something I won't miss. As long as she stays with me, I won't need another first kiss. No, I won't need another first kiss. I won't need another first kiss.
Mitch, I'm really interested in your voice
Yes.
because it sounds great. You,
Thank you.
it conveys the songs well, and it has an interesting range that I didn't expect.
4 octaves.
You dig deep into. I'm like, where? He doesn't look like he can go that low.
Yeah, that
I've
first
got a little
song opened
converter
up
in my
like
voice
this.
box. He just.
Yeah. What are you? Are you trained on that, or what? What
Totally
happened to
untrained.
you?
I totally claim to be totally untrained and loving it.
I think
Okay.
it's AI. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it
AI implant.
Well, what makes a person realize that you can? Because people can do that, but they can't carry the tune.
Mm-hmm.
You have a functional range that's pretty wide ranging. How do you do that? Like, you have to take care of your voice. You have to control it at those extreme octaves. What are you doing there?
Well, I try to do all those things, but I also feel like I have a certain style of singing, and I just think of a lot of my favorite singers aren't necessarily people who are traditionally trained singers necessarily. So I just try and hit the notes, obviously, and sometimes I do some interesting intonations. I'm not even aware of it. I just think, and I listen back to it and said, oh, that sounds okay. It doesn't sound like what everyone else would necessarily do, but that's just what I've accepted as my lot in life.
Well, unlike most people, you don't have to use a capo on every song. Find out your perfect place
Yeah.
because you're so restricted in where you can go. And speaking of guitars, which we weren't really, but
Isn't it all Martin tonight?
speaking of capo, we've been here, guys, about 10 years. That means we've seen 2,000 guitars come through and other instruments, and always interested in hearing a little bit about what you're playing. Both your guitars sound wonderful. So that's a Martin is an OM 18, or what is
No,
that?
it's actually in the X series, which I think are
Okay.
relatively new. For the forever, my first guitar I bought on my own, I learned on my mother's folk guitar, nylon string guitar, when I was like 10 or 11. But the first guitar I bought was when I was 12, and that was a Guild D20, a
Yeah.
small body. And I had that for many years, about 20 years. It sounded great, but I finally got a large body guitar. I think it was a D50 in, I think, 1980 or so. And I had that till, I still have it actually, but it's become, the neck is not straight, and it's because the way it was made, they didn't make it with truss rods that were adjustable back then. It was just missed the cutoff, unfortunately. So I decided to need a guitar, and I really love the way this sounds.
And William, trying to see your headstock under the tuner. That is not a Martin, though. What do you have?
Oh, no, it is not.
Oh,
This-
it's a Larrivee.
This is a Larrivee, Sean Larrivee, made in Canada, that I personally selected off Craigslist, and it looks like a smaller body guitar. It looks like a folk guitar, but if you pull out the tape measure, the lower bout is about the same size
Yeah,
as a
as
dreadnought.
Dreadnought,
So
yeah.
it's got lots of bass to it.
So you bought it sight unseen?
Well, I went to the guy's house and played it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay. Well, good.
but-
Thank goodness for that. You never know.
Yeah, I
Buy
mean, I
'em
wouldn't
online.
do that on eBay, but I've bought some guitars on Craigslist, and most have worked out okay.
And he
Yeah.
lived in Hawaii, so you had no choice but to go down there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But it's I like it. It's a loud guitar. It's surprisingly loud. My other acoustic guitar is a Guild D25, and it's 50 years old.
Yeah.
More than that now. My first guitar that I purchased. It has a mahogany top. I love the way it sounds, but it is not as loud as a lot of guitars. You get lost if you're in a a hardcore bluegrass jam.
Mahogany's kind of compressed.
Well, yeah, it's stiffer, and it gives it an interesting tone. It's great for recording, and I use a pickup in it, but just not as loud for acoustic jam sessions. So this is a nice complement to that. They're very different guitars, but I like them both.
Well, your two guitars sounding wonderful together, and
Thank you.
we need to do some business at the top of the hour, but we're not there yet. So, love to hear some more music.
Sure. This is called A World I Used to Know. I will say there's a funny story behind this because it's the only song I know I've ever heard of that was based on a song from a Smothers Brothers record. Because I did have the record, Mom Always Liked You Best. And on that record is a song by Mason Williams that most people know as the guy who wrote Classical Gas. He wrote a song called The World I Used to Know. And I love the song. This is not that song, but I like the title, so I wrote a new song around that. So. There's a world that I used to know. It's a living in the back of my head. Sometimes I think it's only waiting. Other times I think it's nearly dead. Late night when I'm almost sleeping, and I think I see a sign. Then I know that I'm only dreaming, and I know that I'm There's a song that I used to know. It's a living in the back of my ears. Sometimes it's like a trumpet blowing. Other times it's hard to hear. And the words, they still have meaning, though they were written long ago. Somehow we lost that feeling. Where it went to, I just don't know. There's a prayer that I used to know. It's living on the tip of my tongue. I used to think it was for the old. Now I think it's for everyone. And when it seems it ain't worth hoping, and seems so near our death, on the street I pass a stranger. I hear him mutter it under his breath.
All right, Mitch Cantor and William Waltz. You can learn all about Mitch out on Instagram, Mitch_Cantor_music. And William, is the best place for you on Reverb Nation or where?
Reverb Nation is good. Just look for William Waltz, or I have a Facebook music page, which is, I think it's W Waltz Music. If you just
That's it.
okay, thank you.
And Waltz is WOLTZ.
That is correct. That is correct. And you'll find some YouTube, some videos there, and a little bio, and some upcoming gigs. So please.
Speaking of which, that was my next note. So, William, where are you playing next?
It's a busy weekend. Tomorrow night, our band, Loose Change, is playing at the Cleveland Draft House in Clayton, North Carolina. It's a little geographically challenged, but the Cleveland Draft House in Clayton. And this is Loose Change is a covers band. We do we have a really great singer named Sarah Monroe, and she loves Bonnie Raitt, Sheryl Crow, Natalie Merchant. So we have a lot of fun. And then Sunday afternoon from 4 to 7, I am at Speakeasy in Carborough. It's taken a little while to figure out exactly who is going to be in this gig, so we just billed it as William Woltz and Friends, but it looks like right now it's going to be myself and a percussionist from Loose Change, a guy named Lee Hines, who plays all kinds of interesting percussion, and we're just going to have some fun. So Sunday afternoon, 4 to 7 p.m., Speakeasy in Carborough, some originals, some interesting covers, some that are less worn out.
And Mitch, you play at Speakeasy also. Are you there anytime soon?
I am there March 2nd, which is a Sunday, with Will, and we're actually going to trade sets, and then we're going to do a set of Decomposers music, and I'll talk about that, I guess, in a second.
Yeah.
So that's a whole, sort of more of a band project. But I'm also going up to the North American Folk and Dance Alliance in Montreal, which is something I've done for many years, and I haven't done it for a number of years now, so I'm looking forward to that and playing some sets there as well.
So you need your passport now, I guess,
Correct.
these days.
Yes.
Everybody, we are at the top of the hour, and we are past the hat on WHUP LP Hillsborough. We're so fortunate, Bob, to have an Hour 2 sponsor. Tell us about that.
That's right. Support for this second hour of Past the Hat is sweetly provided by Matthews Chocolates, 104 North Churton Street, Hillsborough, North Carolina, the finest in chocolate and chocolate accessories for all of your chocolate needs. And let's face it,
We all have chocolate needs.
Every guest on Past the Hat gets a gift of chocolate from Matthews. We don't know what's in the box, but we know that it is wonderful. Thank you, Matthew, for bringing the sweetness to our studio.
Are you saying life is like a box of chocolates?
Very much so, yes. Life can be sweet like that sometimes.
Well, can you hold up the box so we can see what we're looking at this week? Okay, and in that box, we don't know what's in there because you don't have a bass player. And typically the bass player opens it and just eats it on air.
Eats the whole thing, yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
They're
Well done.
animals.
I'm looking forward to it, though. Thank
I'm
you.
also going to give a shout out to the lovely Girl Scout in front of our studio
Oh, it's
this
that
evening.
time of year, isn't it?
It is. And as a former Girl Scout who has, I've gotten all my patches and my badges and all that stuff, if you are into Girl Scout cookies, now's the time. And also, they are going to stop making the Toastiers
Oh,
this
my
year.
goodness.
I know, isn't that tragic? But if you see a Girl Scout standing in the cold, maybe you might want to either buy the cookies or just throw them some money. It's cold and they're working hard, and it's a good organization. I'm really proud to have been part of it.
Amen.
Yeah.
They do good work.
Yep,
I've
yep.
never had a cookie called the Scouty. That just seems to make sense to me.
It does make sense.
Okay, but then people would have to say that out loud. I'm eating that, and I'm not even going to say that.
That's true. Good point. Well
Not
done.
doing that. You should play a song and save me from myself.
Okay. Shall I say something about the Decomposers? project
Absolutely,
right now?
yes.
Seems like a good time
Take
for
a
that.
second. So we're going to do a few from that. So for those of you who can see, I have a shirt on that says the Decomposers, they're dying to play for you. This is basically, I started out as a script that I wrote as a film script about a bunch of advertising executives near the end of their career, sort of hurtling towards retirement, and they are all unexpectedly laid off. And they're sort of in the trap of being too old to reinvent themselves or relocate, but too young to retire. And so out of desperation, they form a rock band and write and sing sardonic songs about getting older. So so I'm in the process of making this into a musical theatrical piece, but there's a bunch of songs all throughout, and these are some of them. So,
I've been meaning to ask, am I typecast for this? I mean, is that why I'm here?
no, you're too young for the role. You're too young for it. But you need
Thank
to add
you.
a few. Everyone in this room, I think, could possibly be okay in the Decomposers. I'm sorry to say that, but. So this first song is the first song that actually appears in the show, and it's called "Shut Up and Enjoy the Ride." Here I am with a grin, nearing the end of the slide. Even so, here I go with my story that I will confide. If you want a path on demand, it's just not what life had planned. You just play the hand you're dealt, so shut up and enjoy the ride. Yes, it seems we all have our dreams, we're thinking that they will abide. Up and down, pushed around, life and your hopes collide. Like a pinball in a machine, every so often your life careens. Still don't know what say, hey, you paid your dues along the way. Keep quiet, stupid, you got away. You got away with something, so put a sock in it. It's a miracle, so they say, hey, you paid your dues along the way. Keep quiet, stupid, you got away. You got away with something, so put a sock in it. So come with me on my journey, at least the last part of the way. And you will see how it can be. There's not much more that I can say. I hope things would turn out good, and I'd be happy if they would. Things turn out better than I thought they could. So shut up and enjoy the ride. And shut up and enjoy the ride. And shut up and enjoy the ride. Thank you.
Mitch Cantor live here on Pass the Hat. Mitch, I want to harken back to some things you said in the first half hour of the live stream. First of all, I think you said you started writing songs in middle school?
Well, it's 10 or 11, so yeah.
10 or 11. And that just triggered something for me. Did they call it middle school for you back then? Because down here it was junior high school.
Junior high school, yeah.
Okay, but we call it middle school because that's what we have these days.
I don't know what they do.
Didn't they slide the grades?
They did. So a sixth grader was an elementary school student back in
Right.
the day, but I'll be honest with you. So I'm a gifted education specialist, so I'm working with the kids who are writing songs and such. And when you said you wrote songs at that age, like, I'm ready for you to play them because I listen to brilliant stuff by these kids. I wouldn't be mad about it.
Well, that's where I wanted to go with this because when I was in junior high school or middle school, whatever it was back then, I'm not sure I would have been out there writing songs. I feel like I might have needed to have someone give me permission to write songs. And did someone in your life give you permission? And have you thanked your mother for letting you play her guitar?
I have, and my only thing about the what instigated all this probably is that I have an older brother who was playing in a band at that time. I think it was the Surrealistic Undercurrent was the name of that band. So
That's good.
Yeah. So, and he wrote songs, so I thought I'll write songs. And
So was this something that was going on in your family generally? Just let's gather around the dinner table and write a song? How does one decide
absolutely
it's
not.
time to write a song?
as I said, it's just saw my brother doing it, and I grew up in the late '60s, early '70s in the Detroit area, and pop radio was great then.
Oh, yeah.
So I mean, just whatever top 40 was were great songs. So I was used to listening to that and being totally inundated with these incredible songs, and I love melody. And also, even after that, I've spent so much time listening to oldies radio. So 50s and 60s and 70s music really was embedded in my head. So all these melodies just came flooding through my head all the time. So for some reason, it's not something that comes difficult to me. At least getting melodies. The harder part is writing the words. But
So the words are a feeling or emotion or story that you want to tell? Was that what it was back in your middle school, junior high school days?
yes, except I didn't have very good stories to tell back
Well,
then.
fair.
Yeah.
But those stories have evolved over the years. They're still
I hope so.
stories or emotions that you want to get across. And so what does that process look like? I know Kim was asking about, is it words first, music first? But what is it? Is it a lightning bolt that just strikes you and here's an idea, I have to write a song?
Well, just like I mentioned with World I Used to Know, even though I didn't want to ever copy that song or do that particular song, I thought that's a great idea, World I Used to Know, because there can be multiple layers to that. And another example of that is when I was in college, when I was actually away for a semester, I was actually working for an internship in Paris for the summer of '83. And a friend of mine from Ann Arbor, where I was going to school, wrote me, he said, I have a song for you. And he sent me these lyrics, and I did not like the lyrics at all, but I loved the title. And it was called Over the Hill and Under the Gun. So I think I really want to write a song called that, which I did.
Uh-huh. Are you like most of the songwriters and poets I know, Kim being one of them, that walk around with a little
Hey now.
a little pen and
Yes,
a
I walk
notebook,
around with a hey
and,
now.
and everything is an idea? You're writing stuff down all the time, or somehow recording it?
Yeah, I usually at this point, I used to write a lot more songs, and then a lot of them were really bad. It was a sort of a bad percentage of good songs. So now I've gotten a lot better at my radar of like, okay, that really could be a good song. And so I'll write down things that really stick in my head. And often I'll have an idea that just sticks with me for months or years. I think, okay, there's a reason that stuck with me. I think it's, a lot of
Right.
ideas. I have a lot of bad ideas, so I just filter away.
Kirk Ridge runs a songwriter series both at Blue Note Grill and across the street at Yonder, and I go to them all the time at Yonder, and they're, well, on stage is a lot of there's 3 songwriters at a time, but also in the audience is always several
Yeah.
songwriters, and it's interesting to look out at just watch what's happening in the audience. And folks are just getting ideas all the time and just
Yeah.
looking down at their phone and typing something
Yeah.
in, or looking down or writing into their
Yeah.
notepad. That was a great idea. I need to write this one down and remember it.
It's called
Yeah.
plagiarism.
Total plagiarism.
Yeah. No, I totally get that. I do that all the time too.
But there are no original ideas, really, are there?
There
Kim?
really aren't. I completely agree with that.
No, I
We
think what it
restate
is
them in
is-
the current way.
Some turn of phrase or something, some idea in the song triggered something for them, and they have to write it down right now.
Yeah.
So Over the Hill and Under the Gun is not a new idea?
It is. Yeah,
I've
actually,
never heard it
never
before.
heard it.
There you go.
So,
How'd it go?
I'm not going to play that one. I could, but I'm not. I think I'm going to play some other stuff instead.
well, what are you going to play next? Because it's
Well,
time.
I did want to play a few more songs from Decomposers, since we'll be doing a Decomposer set at the
Well,
Speakeasy. on
before
March
you start, tell
Sure,
us, what is that?
Oh, we were actually talking about it when you stepped out for
Yeah,
a
you
second.
were
but-
Oh, you did? All right.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's long story short, it's a group of people playing on the word decomposers because there may have been career struggles. And so they got together and they were like, screw it, we're going to be in a band. Take that, the man, right? Is that
Yeah,
okay?
actually,
That's it.
I forgot to mention before, though.
And they're all coroners, is that the idea?
Yes.
There you go.
No.
Could be. That's another idea. But I actually did a short for the Decomposers, which, again, if someone wants to send me a message at my Mitch _Cantor_ music on Instagram, I'll be happy to send them the link that they can look at. It's very funny. It has a lot of some famous people in it, actually. So it just really was a hoot to do. It's only 5 minutes long, but it's, yeah, so.
Well, we would love to hear more music from y'all.
I accept your offer. So this is called something that's sort of familiar to older people. I Forgot Where I Put My Mind. Something somewhere, I lost it somehow. I knew where it was yesterday, not so much now. At least I can still remember my name, though I don't know how much longer I can make that claim. Where did I put it? If you could tell me, would it? I wouldn't mind it if I could find it. I forgot where I put my mind. Oh, I forgot where I put my mind. Keys, they strand me when they abandon me. Glasses leave me groping around. And my wallet, you know I call it the holy grail that's gotta be found. Credit cards canceling, password tickling. I'll spend eternity trying to remember me. I forgot where I put my mind. Oh, I forgot where I put my mind. Place for everything and everything in its place. I gotta back up if I should crack up. I got a list on my iPhone, but where the hell is my iPhone? Won't someone call my iPhone for me, please? Hope it's not on vibrate. Who's that actor who does that wild thing in that film where he almost dies with that actress? I know you know her. She's in that show with those crazy guys. Here is the irony. You won't remember me. You won't recall any single thing at all. You'll forget where you put your mind. Oh, you'll forget where you put your mind. Just like me. 'Cause I forgot where I put my mind. Oh, I forgot where I
Wait. Why did I walk into this room again?
Exactly. Yeah, Ron, if I forgot the words, right?
Right?
I should do it as a false start or something, so I forgot the words.
Mitch, maybe you've covered some of this as we've talked about your songwriting process and where the ideas germinate from and all of that. But once you get things going in a song, is it pretty much complete first time through? And if not, what happens during the, if you will, revision process?
Yeah, I would say it goes one of a couple ways. Usually, not usually. Sometimes it just goes straight through because I have a very clear idea of what I want to say in my mind, and to get 3 verses and a bridge, et cetera, isn't very difficult for me to put that all together. Once in a while, I get stuck on something, and I've learned over the years just let it sit, just leave it. Don't try and force anything because that's how bad songs come out. So
Neil Young says he goes mows the grass, but I don't know what he does this time of the year.
You can still mow the grass. And just
I mow the leaves, I guess.
Yes. Knock the snow off.
I do get a lot of ideas when I'm driving. I run a lot, so I get a lot of ideas when I'm running. And I, again, sometimes have to try and make a memo note, which comes out like, what was I saying in that memo note? I was like, sounds like, hush.
That's it. I run a lot as well. It's
Yeah.
exactly what they sound like,
Yeah.
sort of breathless and awful. And I think to myself, this was a good idea.
Exactly, I know.
So what was I thinking?
So I've learned to check it. So, like if I try and just type it down, it's like I have to make sure I can actually read it.
But you don't want to
Yeah.
stop in the middle of the run. You got to keep
Exactly,
going. But
I
it is
know.
the perfect time to kind of get into that meditative state, which is
Right.
where a lot of songs come from, I think. So I think running is a great idea.
And also sometimes I'll be listening to a podcast, and I'll think like, that guy made a great joke, but that is a real thing, and that could be a real interesting
Right.
song based on that joke. Anyway, so
Ideas can come from anywhere.
You know what I was wondering, and it's something you mentioned earlier. You've only lived in North Carolina for 3 years.
Yeah.
And it made me wonder, after hearing all that your life has been and all the things you continue to do, what brought you here from Vermont?
Oh, that's interesting. Actually, I've lived in Michigan, lived in New York City for a number of years. I lived in Vermont for a number of years. And part of the time I was in Vermont, I was also in a relationship with someone on the West Coast. So I was actually doing the sort of the bi-coastal thing. And when that ended, and also when COVID came and all that stuff, I thought, gee, I thought about living in the Southeast, but really the place I was most interested in the Southeast was the Triangle area because it has a lot of similarities to Vermont.
Oh,
except
good.
it's 40 degrees warmer.
Yeah, we have
yeah.
Arlington also.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And but a lot of people from all different places come here. That's one of the things that attracted me
Oh,
about
yeah.
it to me. So I thought, okay, I can try that. And I just came down here for a month. I rented a Airbnb, and I thought first month, I thought this is it. I could do it. Yeah. So
Do you think, now that you've been here for 3-ish years or so, that it's impacted your music or changed your music or influenced your music in any way?
I'm sure it has, but I'm not sure how it has yet. I
Right.
can't quite digest that. I'm
So it's
I'll
not
look
all
back.
just barbecue and biscuits yet.
I've got a few songs like that. That Barbecue and Biscuits is the name of a song. Don't take that back. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, you've done well networking and meeting
Yeah.
people such as William.
To my best, I like to get out. Yeah, well, once I heard him, like, okay, I'm not letting go of this guy. So
Right.
the wizard, I call him. Yeah.
Well, I'm reading your shirt. We're dying to hear more. We're
That's right,
dying to
that's-
hear you play more for us.
Decomposers. They're dying to play for you. So.
Yes.
Okay, so this is an experience that a lot of people have. A lot of people, when they get to a certain age, you have the experience of where you have a really violent sneeze and you hurt yourself. You're sneezing.
Stop
my
calling
back
all
out.
of us out.
Exactly. So one of my favorite comedians, his joke is when you have that sneeze problem, a sleep injury is right around the corner. So this is
Also called out. Stop it.
I slept on it wrong. That's just
it's called
badly.
this is called hurt myself in bed. Well, I went to bed. I was feeling nifty. Well, I can't say I was feeling tired, even though it was 11:50. Well, imagine my great surprise when I woke up 8 hours later to find I'd pulled a hamstring muscle as if I were a racer. I don't know how the hell this happened. I must have done some late night sprinting, and I hurt myself. Well, I was sleeping. Yeah, what kind of crap is that? Yeah, I hurt myself. Well, I was sleeping. Yeah, what kind of crap is that? Aging is hard enough. It's a frustration. But most of the time you see it coming, like macular degeneration. But I didn't know that there would be these evil mattress gremlins who come and attack me late at night when I'm defenseless. I don't know how the hell this happened. I let my guard down while snoozing and I hurt myself. Well, I was sleeping. Yeah, what kind of crap is that? Yeah, I hurt myself. Well, I was sleeping. Yeah, what kind of crap is that? Bed at night, fearing the Grim Reaper and Lizzie Borden and her axe. Well, history can keep her, but I swear that I live in fear that I will wake up screaming from a badly torn ACL. From that evil Sandman demon. I don't know how the hell this happened. I must have done some late night sprinting and I hurt myself. Well, I was sleeping. Yeah, what kind of crap is that? Yeah, I hurt myself. Yeah, what kind of crap is that? I said, what kind of crap? What kind of crap? While I was sleeping. Yeah, what kind of crap is that? Think you've all been there, right?
I mean, what it is, it's good news for my chiropractor.
Exactly.
And it's so funny. So at a certain age, you can say, I got hurt in bed, and that's a flex, right? Your friend's like, hi, girl. And then after a certain age, you say, yeah, I got hurt in bed, and then everyone's ready to offer you their chiropractor's card.
Yeah.
And they feel sorry for you. We can't win.
I've had so many injuries in bed lately. I don't want to go into it.
Okay.
My
Flex
left-
on, Bob. Flex on.
My left shoulder sometimes doesn't work because I slept on it wrong. I broke a toe in bed twice.
Stop it.
Wow.
You did not.
Well, I did not. I had gout in one of my toes, which when you wake up, it feels like you broke your toe.
Yikes.
Mitch, real quickly, and maybe I missed it when I was out of the room, the plans for Decomposers, have you written the script, or what are they called, the book?
Well, I'm in the process of writing the book. I'm about 2/3 through. So I'm also at the same time still pursuing trying to get it made as a film. I have some people I'm constantly in touch with about trying to do that. So it's sort of a strange. I'm in this weird position. I've got these songs written by some famous people. Graham Parker has agreed to be in it as the manager of the band, and so I'm still investigating all those things. But I'm going ahead with the musical. It just isn't finished yet. So yeah, hopefully sometime in calendar 25 I'll be at least rehearsing it, if not putting it up.
Oh,
So,
well,
Fantastic.
that's fast.
yeah.
Oh, good for
Well,
you.
I took a lot of it from the original film script, so it's not like I had to generate all this new stuff. I had it, already ready to go.
Well, good luck on that. We'll
Thank you
look
very
forward
much.
to
Appreciate it.
following the progress of that at over on Insta, Mitch_Cantor_music. Tell us all about it as it evolves.
Fantastic. Appreciate that.
And is there a place online where people can buy your music. We love people doing the streaming, and that's cool, and that gets you attention. But we have a lot of supporters who want to buy your music. Where can they do that?
They actually cannot right now.
Okay,
I'm
don't
actually
do
in the
that.
process of putting together a record that will be hopefully done. Will be done this year for sure. So it's about 3/4 done as well. So I'll be letting people know about that. But again, if they can contact me, I can let them know when it's done. So
Yeah,
Okay.
just follow Mitch Cantor Music on Instagram,
Yeah.
and you will find ways to be able to give Mitch Cantor money
Exactly.
in exchange for music.
send millions now,
Millions now.
or invest in the Decomposers. Either way.
There
All right.
you go. Need a Kickstarter for that thing.
Yeah.
I think we've got time definitely for one more song.
Okay. There's a story behind this song, I should say. Also, I actually wrote this song a while ago before I started doing the Decomposers film script. I just had this song quite a while ago, which I like. And I was somewhere at a conference, and I ran into Alice Cooper
As one does.
Love
at a
him.
Starbucks at 6 a.m. He was out to play golf. And
He's an avid golfer, I
he is.
hear.
He's a scratch golfer. He's been a scratch golfer for about 30 years. Anyway, but so I told him about the Decomposers, and I said, I'd love to have you play a part of a record company executive, if I get this going. And he goes, yeah, sure. He gave me his home phone. I talked to his wife and his manager, and they said, just when you get the money, let me know. So I'm counting on him. Alice, hang in there, please. A few more years. So this is called the Every City Holiday Song. This is at the point where the Decomposers have gotten really popular, actually, thanks to their social media people, and they've got record companies chasing after them. My record label guy says to me, you've got to have a hit song, something they can sing all over the country with a gimmick that can go wrong. He said just put in the names of cities in every single verse. I said why even use other lyrics? Wouldn't that just make it worse? Detroit, Philly, Chicago, LA, Cleveland, Pittsburgh too, San Francisco, Seattle, Miami, I swear to God I love you. The record guy was jumping up and down, no doubt about it, he loved it. The record guy, he says to his boss, don't we got a hit on our hands? Yes sirree, the guy says with a smile, it fits right in with my plans. Just one thing is missing though, to keep it from going all the way. Put in the names of some holidays to guarantee consistent airplay. Christmas, New Year's, Groundhog's Day, Thanksgiving, Passover too, Labor Day and the 4th of July, I'm waiting all year for you. The both record guys were jumping up and down, no doubt about it, they loved it. My song finally made it all the way to the top, to the head honcho chief bigwig. She also gave it the double thumbs up. She said she knew it would be big. Just one thing she said with a smile as she opened up her mouth to say, hey, is there any way you could change it around to sound like yesterday? Hey, Halloween, San Diego, Easter, Silver Springs, all three were jumping up and down. Me, I went back to night school. The fabulous Will Waltz on guitar.
Thank you, Mitch. That's such a great song.
Thank you.
That's
Matt.
so
Appreciate
much
it.
fun.
Thank you.
That
Oh.
was a great song. I
Yeah.
love the ending.
All of these songs have just had me humming along and kind of dancing along. These are a lot of fun.
I intentionally played the worst one, so to give you something to look forward to for the.
Sweet.
Well, you have been listening to and watching Mitch Cantor here on the live stream and on Pass the Hat, WHUP's Pass the Hat. It is time for us to end the live stream, and we're going to spend the next half hour with these guys here in the studio. We're going to be playing songs from a playlist that they provided for us, and they're going to provide intros and outros, essentially going to be celebrity guest radio hosts for us and y'all. So it's going to be an interesting, fun time. We get to kind of look into the mind of our guests, our musical guests, and what they think you should hear, what's been motivating them, whatever. Yeah. So it's about time. You should probably actually intro the first song, and as soon as you intro that first song, the live stream's going to end, and you can wave goodbye to the live stream at that point. But do you know what's on this playlist?
I don't remember the order of what it is. So.
You've got Don Dixon up here.
Oh yeah, that's actually a song on one of my releases from Gadfly Records. And as I said, Don was a member of Arrogance, well known down here. A terrific, wonderful songwriter and producer. Worked with a lot of famous people. In fact, I just saw him when he was here a few months ago. So yeah, it's a great song. I really love this.
All right, do so well, Don Dixon.
And say goodbye to the live stream. We'll see you guys next week.
Thank you.
We will never